Okay, please give it up for Hoi Vo. Yes. Okay.
Oh, thanks. How'd you know? Before I start, I just want to give a trigger warning to everyone here. Check in with yourself, because this story's fucking nuts. The winter solstice is the shortest day of the year, but I'll always remember it as the longest night of my life. As on December 21st, 2022, I was arrested and charged with attempted murder. It's 7:30 p.m. on a Wednesday, and I'm just getting off work from the hospital when I try to call my wife. She doesn't answer. So I send her a text. I end up calling a friend to talk to him about a fight I had with her 9 days prior. And while I'm on the phone, I hear a sound above my car. I look up and I see a helicopter. A searchlight drops down and it's waving back and forth until it lands directly onto my car. Within seconds, I'm surrounded by 4 police cruisers with officers aiming their guns at me. Get out of the car, get on your knees. In shock and disbelief, I'm lying on the street while in my scrubs. Like a deer in the headlights, I'm completely frozen. The noise from the helicopter is deafening while the lights from the police cars are blinding. Time is both expanding and contracting while a myriad of thoughts are racing through my mind. This can't be real. I've got work tomorrow. Is this how my patients feel when I wheel them into the operating room? Because this is really disorienting. Wow. Did my wife actually call the cops on me? And as I'm lying on the street, I find myself wondering, how did I get here? I've been in a 9-year relationship marred by codependency, alcohol, and substance abuse. Anyone who's ever been in that kind of dynamic knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's a roller coaster ride. When the highs were high, the love felt transcendent, but when the lows were low, it was like oil and water. Every fight involving alcohol or substances would precipitate existential questions about our survival. And in the aftermath, the same apologies and promises would be made. She'd get help, I'd forgive her, we'd move on till the next fight. And on the cycle would go. And it just got to the point where I resigned myself that this was how our relationship was going to be. And so, 9 days before my arrest, we would cycle into yet another low. And what I saw that night will forever be etched into my memory as the anguish of watching someone you love hurt themselves yet again overwhelmed me. And it would lead to one of our most painful and excruciating encounters we've ever had as a couple. Now, despite the turmoil, I thought we were trying to reconcile. As in the days leading up to my arrest, we went to the botanical gardens. We had Korean barbecue. She cut my hair. I visited my mom in Florida for 5 of those days. We talked to each other every single day. And I could feel the faint embers of reconciliation growing when I was talking to her on the phone while on my lunch break on December 21st. Little did I realize how wrong I'd be, because later on that night, there I am, lying on the street, arrested in dramatic fashion. The police would keep quiet about the actual reason behind my arrest. I'd be taken to the station, where I was stripped naked, forced into a blue jumpsuit. Several hours would elapse before it was revealed to me that my wife in fact did call the police and that I was being charged with attempted murder. I would spend the next 8 days at the Twin Towers Correctional Facility, where I witnessed unspeakable atrocities. I saw men break out into fights. An inmate in the cell block next to mine committed suicide. I saw a man get stabbed. My own life was threatened. Thankfully, I had a group of family and friends who were able to help me make my $1 million bail. There's a saying that the wheels of justice turn slowly. And it would take 8 long, agonizing months before the case was dismissed due to falsified testimony and video evidence contradicting her version of events. But I confess, I'm not innocent. I contributed to the dysfunction that led us to where we got to, and that's something I'm gonna have to grapple with for the rest of my life. How did a 9-year relationship come to such a violent and tragic end? I enabled her. I thought I was supporting her, but I was enabling her addiction because I was addicted to her. I held on to this conviction that you don't abandon the person that you're married to, especially when they're suffering. But what are you supposed to do when the person you're trying to help ends up hurting you? The winter solstice is the longest night of the year and is a period marked by death and introspection. But with each passing day, the gradual increase of sunlight represents the emergence of hope and the promise of healing. And as I pick up the pieces from this massive trauma, I find myself wishing I could see her one last time so that I could just say, despite what happened, I still love you, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't be the person you needed me to be. You know, the most tragic ordeal to arise from all this isn't the arrest, it isn't the charge, it isn't the Twin Towers, it isn't even her betrayal. It's that we'll never have an opportunity to reconcile. That is a path we forge alone. Thanks.
Please keep it going for We.